What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about 5 skills that will make you a good quarterback. Now, fellas, the first skill that you need as a quarterback to help with your accuracy is a skill called extension. So this is a common problem that I see with a lot of quarterbacks, especially younger quarterbacks, is that like when they throw, it's almost like they go back with the football. They know to flick their wrist, but when they flick their wrist, they have this slight bend in their arm. If you guys want to be a more accurate passer, like something that really bothers me a lot of times with like quarterback coaches is like a quarterback will throw a bad pass, right? Like let's say it sails or it goes in the ground or it goes left or it goes right, and they're just like, hey, flick your wrist a little bit more, it'll be better. It's not just about flicking your wrist. Like flicking your wrist helps us spin, and we're going to talk about how to throw a better spiral later on in this video, but it's more so about extension. The magic spot for you to be is you want to think your wrist flicks 6 inches in front of your front foot, your front stride. And when you flick your wrist, you want your your wrist, elbow, and shoulder to be in a complete straight line where you want the ball to go. Think of it like you are throwing darts. And if you could get to that extension point, that's where the wrist flick and the follow through actually helps with accuracy. Now, a lot of people talk a lot about where your arm should finish as a quarterback. There's a lot of like quarterback coaches out there that'll say like, oh, like you want to finish across. Some QB coaches are like, oh, you want to finish in the opposite pocket. And some guys are just like, I don't care. I'm kind of on the I don't care end of things. Like as long as you extend, I could care less where your arm goes. So if you're here and you extend and then your arm comes back, cool, that's no problem. If you extend and you go to the opposite pocket, fine. That's where I end up going. Some guys teach like slap the thigh. That's fine too. As long as you're getting to that extension point, you're going to be a much more accurate passer. Now, fellas, before we get into the rest of this video, if you are a quarterback or a wide receiver watching this and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this offseason, we are going to be traveling out to 15 different cities across the entire country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. This is our 3rd tour that we've done, guys, where we've gone across the entire country, training athletes, working with you guys, so we're super excited to start that this year. Last year, all 15 of our camps sold out probably 3 to 4 months before the actual camp date. So guys, we released the schedule a couple weeks ago. Spots are filling up, so make sure you take advantage of us having available spots now so you don't miss out. We can't take every single athlete simply because there would not be enough time to give individual instruction to each athlete, which is what we are going for. So guys, check out that very first link in the description below. That's where all the information is. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Columbia, South Carolina. Then after that, we'll be heading out to Seattle, Washington, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Then we'll be coming out to Nashville, Tennessee. After that, we'll be coming out to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Atlanta, Georgia, Austin, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Columbus, Ohio, Salt Lake City, Utah, Boston, Massachusetts, and finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So guys, want some more info? Again, very first link in that description below. Let's get back to this video. Now, fellas, the next skill that we're going to be discussing is going to help you throw a better spiral. So why is it important to throw a spiral as a quarterback? Like, I mean, personally, I think spirals are a little overrated, right? Like, as long as you get the ball there, you get it there on time, you have arm strength, you have accuracy. That's really all I care about, but a spiral can be important to be able to throw a catchable ball, making it easier on your receivers, and obviously it looks pretty. And if you're like at a camp setting or a practice and you're a dude who's not spinning the ball and just throwing ducks, that obviously doesn't help you pass that like eye test. So an easy thing that you guys can do to help you improve your spiral is try to move your index finger, because that's your spiral finger. That should be almost the index and the middle finger should be the last 2 to come off the ball, but try to move your index finger a little bit higher. Some guys have it very low, so it's almost like they push the ball. Move it a little bit higher and put more pressure on the football with the middle finger and the index finger, because that will help you have those be the last 2 to come off the ball, which can help you have a more consistent spin with your throws. Now, fellas, the next skill you need as a quarterback is something called a good throwing sequence. And a good throwing sequence means being able to use your hips and your legs in your throw, mainly for sustainability. I think a lot of people push back on when I'm always super hyper focused on mechanics, because they're just like, hey, well, listen, the quarterback's getting the ball there. Like, it's a good ball. Why try to change it? But the reason why we try to change certain things, it's for sustainability. You guys, like, I don't want a quarterback to have 10 good throws and then on throw 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever, his performance starts to decrease because he's throwing all arm and his arm is starting to get tired. So how you can start avoiding throwing all arm is by having your hips beat your shoulders and beat the football in your throwing sequence. So we're going to explain how you can achieve that. So you want to think of a throwing motion a lot like a baseball swing. I don't know if any of you guys play baseball. You can think of it like a swinging a golf club too as well. It's very similar to those two movements because it involves separating your upper body from your lower body. Think about a baseball swing, right? So you're in the batter's box, you're here, pitcher throws you a pitch. Generally in a baseball stance, where is your weight? Your weight's on your back leg. That's where you want to be as a quarterback. I recommend 65 to 70% of your weight on your back leg. You want your head, your knee, and your foot stacked on top of each other in a big skyscraper. Dang near pretty close. You just don't want a knee cave, and you don't want to sit so low to where your knee's past your toe. You want everything to be straight, and you have a little bit of a bend at your hip, okay? And you're nice and light on your front foot, similar to a baseball swing. So when you swing a baseball bat, pitcher throws you a pitch, you step. Bat stays back here, weight stays back here. Then what are we taught from the time we're 5 years old playing baseball to swing the bat? Squish the back bug, because your hip comes through and the bat trails behind, and that's how you hit the ball. And that's how you get more bat speed. That's how you get more power on your swing, because your hips are doing the work, and that creates something called torque. That pull where your front foot is going this way and your shoulders stay back, that pull that you feel right here, and then when you decide to rotate through, that's torque. Quarterbacks need to create torque as well, and that torque takes pressure off their arms. So when you're set up in your base, weights back, nice and light on your front foot, when your front foot steps to the target, you want to stay back. You don't want to rush forward. A lot of QBs push their weight forward because they're throwing very linear. And when that hip, foot, knee get left behind, guess what you can't do? Separate your shoulders, similar to a baseball swing. If I go like this, I'm not going to have any power. I'm not going to be able to squish the back bug. So when you push forward on a throw, you're throwing all arm. And now some guys can get really, really good at that, but that's a ton of pressure on your elbow, your shoulder, and it's not sustainable, you guys. And again, I'm not trying to change the way you go back with the ball. I'm not trying to change the way you hold the ball either. A lot of guys focus so much on that. There's thousands of quarterbacks across the entire country. A lot of you watch our stuff. Every single one of you throws the ball differently because you have a different body type. Some of you are stronger, some of you are weaker. That's the way people go in any sport. So I'm not trying to change all that. I'm trying to make you efficient in areas that the top passers in the NFL, throughout the history of the NFL, all have in common. You look at the best guys, the Joe Burrows, the Aaron Rodgers, the Matthew Stafford, guys who have really good throwing mechanics, right? Even Mahomes, who maybe doesn't have the most conventional style. They all have these similar aspects in common in terms of generating torque and power. So when you go to throw and you stride, keep your weight back, because guess what that allows you to do? Delay your shoulders, and it's not a long period of time. It's a split second. But then you decide to rotate with your hips. Hip beats the shoulder and the ball, and that helps us generate more power and takes the pressure off my arm. So that is what we ultimately want to achieve when it comes to mechanics as a quarterback. Now, fellas, the next skill that you need to have as a quarterback is being able to stay parallel with your shoulders and keeping your front hand up by your face to help you with accuracy. So we just broke down the throwing sequence and throwing mechanics, right? So a lot of QBs, they have that aspect like down, but then they have a very wild front side when they throw, which affects their accuracy, right? So this throwing sequence also helps you produce, also helps you with velocity, obviously, sustainability, but also accuracy, because you don't feel the need, because the bad habits that quarterbacks have is that what will they do? They'll dip their head, pull their elbow down, which makes their release high, or what guys will do is this front shoulder will pull this way and their arm widens and they come across their body because they're over rotating. And a lot of that has to do with a flawed lower body in your mechanics. A lot of QBs that do this, remember we talked about how you don't want to do this. A lot of QBs that push forward and their back hip is disengaged, they can't rotate at their hips. So simply to just get the ball there, what they'll do is they'll start to compensate with their shoulders and their head. And so now your release is pushed up high and you can start missing high, you can start missing low. And then same thing, guys who like to push forward, they'll over rotate and that can make their arm widen and they almost throw sidearms. So guys, if you have the right mechanical sequence, all you got to focus on eating a sandwich with your front hand and keeping your shoulders parallel to the target. So let's talk about what that should look like. So you're here, you stay back, hips are bringing you through. I want this hand to stay here. I want to rotate around this arm and I want to keep my shoulders level, because guess what that does? That keeps your release inside your frame. When you're here, it's outside your frame. When you're here, it's outside your frame. So your accuracy starts to differ and be a little bit inconsistent. But if you stay here where this front hand stays in front of your face, and it could be like anywhere in this range, wherever you're comfortable, and your shoulders stay level, we could snap and extend like we talked about in the very beginning of this video to help us with accuracy. So we don't get extension without staying square. And we can't stay square and we can't keep my hand up here without the proper throwing sequence. The quarterback position, guys, if you haven't realized this already, when it comes to mechanics, everything is connected and it generally starts from the ground up. Now, the next skill you need as a quarterback, fellas, has to do with pocket movement, and that is being able to keep your eyes downfield and feel the rush rather than see the rush. And we're going to talk about a great drill that you could do as a quarterback to help you with that I do with my QBs generally every single time that we train. So if you're in the pocket, and let's say you're getting C-gap pressure, which C-gap is like, so you got your center guard tackle, C-gap is outside of the tackle, right? So if you're getting pressure outside your tackle, what are you trying to do as a quarterback? Probably going to step up. Now, if you're going through a read, let's say it's like a Mills concept. A Mills concept, for those of you that don't know, is where we have like a deep post on the outside, a dig from my slot, and then like, let's say the slot on the right side's running a drag. So you're trying to read the safety. I'm going back, I'm looking at the safety. I'm not, oh, I'm getting outside pressure. Okay, now let me look back and I'm going to step up. No. You feel it. You get that feeling in the pocket of like, all right, I'm feeling the pressure, I step up. Your eyes, and this has to do with the drill that we're gonna do, because the drill is called the eyes closed drill. Some people call this like a Jedi drill. These guys that I train call it that. But if you get that pressure outside the pocket, your eyes are essentially close to that. You're not looking at that, you're feeling that. So this drill kind of works on that feeling. And something you can do if you have a partner, your dad, your brother, whoever could do this with you. So you're gonna get in a throwing base and you're gonna have your partner tap you either on your front shoulder, the football, your back, or your back shoulder, and your eyes are gonna be closed while they do that. And you're gonna react to the tap like they're pushing you in that direction. You go opposite of the tap. So if your eyes are closed and you're here, and your feet don't need to be working, they just nice and quiet. Taps you on the front shoulder, you go back. Taps you football, go back. Taps you here, go forward. Taps you back shoulder, step up. And you develop that instinct and that sixth sense that you need as a quarterback in the pocket.